everybody, thank you all for coming today. Today I'm going to be talking about seatbelts and why we should wear them. Now, seatbelts are one of those objects that we often see every single day, and we put them on and we don't really understand why we are putting them on. We are just told to wear our seatbelts. Today I'm going to be talking about the science behind seatbelts. I'm going to be talking about how seatbelts save lives, and we are also going to be talking about some myths that we often hear about seatbelts. Now, we all know somebody that has been in a car accident. Seatbelts were designed to keep us safe in the event of a car accident. As we can see here, there are 6 million car accidents that happen just in the United States in 1 year. Now, globally, there are many deaths that happen because of car accidents. Globally per day, there are 3,287 deaths that happen each day simply because of car accidents. And as you can also see, 2 million drivers per year are disabled because of a car accident. Now, these are very startling statistics, and it makes you not want to get in a car again. But seatbelts are designed to keep you safe. We have also found that only 1 in 6 people wear their seatbelts. Now, here is why you should wear your seatbelts. I am going to show you guys a short video clip from YouTube that shows what happened to a man who was driving in his car and he didn't have a seatbelt on. Now, what we saw from that video is that the man who wasn't wearing his seatbelt flew all the way into the back of his seats, into the rear seats of the car, simply because he didn't have a seatbelt on. Now, that is the number one thing why seatbelts protect us, is they keep us safe and secure inside the car. Alrighty, now let's talk about the science behind why seatbelts work. We have to go back to physics class to be able to understand this. An object in motion will stay in motion unless acted upon by an external force. Now, we know that seatbelts slow us down and they reduce the amount of force acting upon us. That is because the car is taking all the force and all the speed. We call this the crumple zone. The crumple zone is what you see when you see the front of a car smashed into a brick wall. The front of the car is all smashed up, yet the driver's seat is still intact. This means that the seatbelt will hold you inside the car, protecting you against being the crumple zone. So instead of turning into the crumple zone, your car will protect you. Seatbelts will also keep you safe inside the car. It comes down to this. You can either be stopped by your seatbelt, by the car windshield, or by the pavement. And it is your choice which one you want to be stopped by. Now, we know science is nothing if we can't prove it to be right. Here is some statistical proof that proves that seatbelts work. For example, in 2018, almost 15,000 lives were saved just by seatbelts. An additional 2,549 lives could have been saved if the person had just decided to buckle up. Seatbelts will save our lives 90% of the time in the event of a fatal crash. Now, some may be wondering how strong a seatbelt actually is. Here's a little interesting fact for you. A seatbelt will hold up to 3 small cars, up to 6,000 pounds. So I am sure your seatbelt will be able to hold you. I have found a graph that shows the relationships between deaths and seatbelt use. As we can see, as seatbelt use increases, fatality rate decreases. This is just a good visual example to show you why seatbelts actually work. They really do work, and they really do save your life. This visual aid, this graph shows how many car accidents have happened and the year that they happened. I'm going to zoom in so you can see it better. Now, here we have a close-up of the graph. As you can see, as time goes on, they record the vehicles miles traveled in millions and the fatality rate per 100 million. In 1899, the total fatalities was 26. Now, as we go down the graph, we can see on this right-hand column that as time goes on, the fatality rates continue to decrease. This is because in the 1900s, people decided to start making more laws and regulations, such as traffic lights, stop signs, and things like that. In the 70s, we see a drastic decrease, and in the 70s, the seatbelt was actually invented and people started using it more. And so on the right-hand column, you can see the amount of fatalities per 1 million miles. And as the miles traveled continues to grow up, the fatality rate actually goes down until we get all the way to 2017, where the fatality rate is only 1.6 million deaths per 3 billion miles. Alrighty, so how do seatbelts keep us safe? Well, number one, they help us not become the crumple zone of the car. As I talked about earlier, this is the crumple zone. This is the part of the car that takes all of the speed and all of the impact in the event of a crash. Now, keeping your seatbelt on will keep you safe and far away from the crumple zone. If you do not have your seatbelt on, you may fly through the windshield and be involved in the crumple zone. Number two, your seatbelt will keep you safe and keep you inside the car so you do not get ejected from the car. Now, ejection from a car can almost always cause serious injury or even death. So you don't want to do that. And number three, head injuries are very serious, and we know that with seatbelts, if we have our seatbelt up by our shoulder, it will protect our head and our body from rolling around and hitting our head and becoming unconscious. So keep your seatbelt on to protect your head as well. Now, to better understand the crumple zone effect and how seatbelts slow us down in the event of a crash, I will be demonstrating this by using an egg and a trampoline. Let's pretend that you are this egg, the ground is the object that you are running into, and the trampoline is the seatbelt. Now I'm going to drop this egg onto the trampoline from a pretty reasonable height. Alrighty, here we go. As you can tell, the egg did not crack. Now, if I were to come up here onto the hard rock, I'm actually not going to do it, but if I were to come up here onto the hard rock and smash the egg against the rock, we all know what would happen. The egg on the trampoline is a great example because it shows that the seatbelt will absorb the impact from the ground and will keep you safe inside the car. Now, I'm going to talk about 3 very common myths that I have heard personally about seatbelts. Number 1, your seatbelt will lock you inside your car if you are underwater or if you are in a fiery accident. Now remember that you cannot undo your seatbelt if you are unconscious. It is better to take the risk and put on your seatbelt and be conscious for your accident. Number 2, if you are not traveling far, you do not need to wear your seatbelt. Now, this is a myth, and I see this happen all the time. People often have their first crash or their only crash within 15 minutes of the home. Over 77% of accidents happen within 15 minutes of the home. So remember, no matter how far you are going, remember to buckle up. And number 3, airbags. People often say that airbags are dangerous. Now, airbags can really hurt you, but remember that airbags and seatbelts are designed to work together. If you wear your seatbelt, your harm from the airbag will be very small. So I know we have learned a lot today about seatbelts and why they keep you safe. A few things that I would like you to remember is the seatbelt will keep you safe in the event of an accident because it will keep you from being ejected from the vehicle. It'll help you stay safe and it'll help you protect your head as well. Also remember, it only takes a few seconds to put on your seatbelts, so it is better to be safe than sorry. And don't forget to encourage your friends and your family and your loved ones to buckle up as well. Thank you.